Okay, good morning dear students. Today we are going to discuss maximum likelihood estimation. Okay, this is from my handwritten notes. Today I will lecture from the regarding maximum likelihood estimation. Okay, this is actually the goal of maximum likelihood estimation is to find if we have gathered a data set, which distribution actually fits best for that data set, or from which distribution actually the data has generated. In both the ways you can think, and this is actually different from conditional probability. Okay, maximum likelihood is not same as conditional probability, and I hope it will be clear as we move forward. Okay, don't forget that the goal of maximum likelihood is to find an optimal way to fit a distribution to the data we have already gathered. And there are loads of distribution, different types of distribution. Maybe let me cite few important and few prominent one. Normal distribution, exponential distribution, and the gamma distribution. Normal will be like this. We are very much familiar in the normal distribution, and I hope you have heard that normal distribution is normally considered as the father of all distribution. And I told you, as I discussed in the previous class, I told you that this is actually everything in nature we closely observe, almost everything follows a normal distribution. And exponential distribution is also one of the prominent distribution. Gamma distribution is there, Poisson distribution is there. There are many distributions. And normal distribution means we expect that most of the measurements are close to the mean. What is actually the mean? The peak, the peak. This is actually the peak and this is going to be the mean. And this will be the low and this will be the high, and we expect that most of the points will be circling or around, most of the points appear around this mean, and this is one assumption in normal distribution, and we expect that the measurements are relatively symmetrical around the mean. That means, okay, I am very poor at drawing. You can see that you can beautifully draw it, and the left hand side and the right hand side, they are symmetrical. And normal distributions comes in all size and shape. You can see that like this also it will come, like this also very high peak it will come. It can come in different size and shape. And according like normal distribution, here you can see that if this is the mean, then these points, okay, most of the points are actually appearing here. They are not around this mean. Then we will say that the likelihood of observing these points around the mean is very low. That is actually the meaning of the likelihood. The likelihood of observing these points with the mean is very low. Then if we shift this mean to this and this, all these things, and if we draw, if the mean is appearing here, it's almost the curve will be appearing like this, and you can see that the likelihood is more that these points appear around the mean if we are drawing mean like this. And therefore, if we have different mean, one mean is here, another mean is here, like that, if we draw different normal distribution curves, then we can plot a graph like this, likelihood on the y-axis and the mean on the x-axis. Then we will have different, with this mean, this is the normal distribution curve. With this mean, this is the normal distribution curve. We can have different shifting of the means, and we will be plotting the means like this. It will be appearing almost like this, and this is actually the peak value. That means with this mean, this is the highest, most likelihood of the mean, most maximum likelihood estimate of the mean, for that the points are always, the location of the points are very near to the mean. Location that maximizes the likelihood is actually this mean. And this is the meaning of maximum likelihood estimate. Maximum likelihood. All these are actually likelihood, but this is actually the maximum likelihood of mean. Okay. Then this is maximum likelihood estimation. In short, we will call MLE. And this is a new method of calculating population parameter. What are actually population parameter? Mean, variance are the population parameters, standard deviation, etc. And in regression model, we assumed that the error variable actually follows a normal distribution with zero mean and variance sigma square. And in certain cases, I told you that it need not always follow the normal distribution. It can follow other distribution also. And in that case, we can have maximum likelihood estimation. We need not go for OLS. Okay. And whenever the error term does not follow normal distribution in regression model, maximum likelihood estimate is the best method. Therefore, MLE is an important method. And this is actually first introduced by R.A. Fisher, and he is a genetist and a statistician. Okay, we can find out which distribution using this model. The objective is which distribution has generated the data set. That is actually the objective. Or in another way, we can put it down like the data has come from which distribution. And an example, you just consider an example, write down a sample of 10 new bike helmets manufactured by a certain company is obtained. And upon testing, it is found that the first, third and the 10th helmets are damaged, whereas the others are not. Let P equal to P is a damaged helmet. The helmet is damaged. The probability that the helmet is damaged. Then we can define the Bernoulli random variables x1, x2, etc., xn like this. There are 10 events, 10 sample points we have collected. Okay, 10 new bike, 10 sample points. Therefore, define Bernoulli random variable x1 equal to 1 if the first helmet is damaged, x1 equal to 0 if the first helmet is not damaged. Similarly, x10 equal to 1 if the 10th helmet is damaged, and x10 equal to 0 if the 10th helmet is not damaged. Then for the obtained sample, for the 10 samples, we can see that x1 equal to x3 equal to x10 equal to 1, and all other 7 xi's are 0. And the probability mass function for any particular sample event xi is p into probability p into pi of the damage, p into xi into 1 minus p into not damaged. Then that will be actually 1 minus p if xi equal to 0, that is not damaged, and xi equal to 1. Then if p if xi equal to 1 and 1 minus p if xi equal to 0. And various helmets are independent of one another, that we know, that is an important assumption. This implies that xi's are independent. Then the joint probability mass function is the product of the individual probability mass function. This is an important one. The joint probability mass function actually we want to find out, and this is actually the product of the individual mass function. And we can see how we can do maximum likelihood estimation for binomial distribution. And remember, joint PMF, probability mass function, is evaluated at the observed xi's like this. It's a function of all 10 events with probability of damaged and not damaged. And you can see that p into 1 minus p into p into p into p like that for xi. Probability of x1, x2, x3, etc., xn. That means probability of damage only 3 events. Therefore, it is p raised to 3 into 1 minus p raised to 7. Okay, mark it as equation number 1. Then the question is, for what value of p is obtained the most likely, the sample most likely to have occurred? The helmet has to be damaged. That is, for what value of the joint probability mass function p is Osler. Okay, what is the most likelihood value of p? And what value of p maximizes the equation? That is actually we want to ask. What value of p maximizes equation? Whether it is 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. What value of p actually maximizing this equation? There are different p values. They are all likelihood. And all p values are likelihood. But we want to find out the maximum likelihood value. What value of p actually maximizes this equation? That is actually maximum likelihood. And here the thing is that we will be finding, remember the point here, we are actually finding the joint probability mass function as the product of the individual probability mass function. And that is little bit difficult to compute. And it will be easy if we take logarithm on the product of individual mass function. Why means log of x1 into x2 into etc. xn means if we take log on that, it will become summation. Okay, that is actually the product rule of logarithm. Therefore, we are going to take natural logarithm of the equation. Since, and also one more thing, our point here is actually find which value of p actually maximizes this equation. Which value of p maximizes that equation? And if we take log, then we will generally state, since ln of g of u is strictly increasing function of g of u, finding u to maximize the function g of u is same as finding u to maximize the function ln of g of u. If g of u is increasing, then ln of g of u will be increasing. And we want to find out which u actually maximizes g of u. It will be same as which u actually maximizes the ln of g of u. Therefore, no harm in that we are taking natural logarithm of that equation. Then using calculus, we can find the value of p. Working with the natural logarithm is easier. Okay, you can see that if you take ln both sides, then this will become, this product will become sum. Here you can see this is 3 into ln of p plus 7 into ln of 1 minus p. Okay, then the question is what value of p? This is maximum. And I hope you remember the calculus, and the maximum minimum will be like this. We find the first derivative and second derivative, and for finding the maximum or minimum, first derivative we will equate to 0 and the second derivative we will find, and if it is less than 0, then the obtained point will be maximum or minimum, or we will go for third derivative. Okay, I hope you just revise the concept you learned in schools regarding calculus. Okay, we will find the first derivative and equate to 0, then we can get the value of p. Whether it is a maximum value, then for that, for ensuring that, you can find out the second derivative, and if the second derivative is less than 0, that value will be the maximum. The same thing, if it is minimum, that value is the minimum. In this case, we want to find out the maximum value. Therefore, take the first derivative of that. Okay, take the first derivative and you can see this is the derivative, and this is actually ln of p, it is 1 by p, therefore 3 by p, and 7 divided by 1 divided by 1 minus p into derivative of 1 minus p, that is minus 1, and this will be 3 divided by p minus 7 divided by 1 minus p. Okay, then equate it to 0, then you will get 3 equal to 10p or p equal to 3 by 10, that is 0.3. It is called a maximum estimate, maximum likelihood estimate, maximizes the likelihood join probability. You can prove it, take the second derivative, you are getting the second derivative as minus 3 by p square minus 7 by 1 minus p square, and this is less than 0, therefore this is going to be the maximum value p equal to 0.3. This is how maximum likelihood estimation we are going to do. And let x1, x2, etc. generally how we are going to write, let x1, x2, etc. xn have joint probability mass function or probability density function. Then we will write the function as x1, x2, etc. xn given the parameter, the population parameter theta 1, theta 2, etc. theta m, where we want to find out these unknown values theta 1, theta 2, etc. theta m, and these are the observed sample points. Okay, we want to find out the parameters, the population parameters, and which value of this is actually maximizing this. Okay, when x1, x2, etc. are observed sample points, this is regarded as a function of theta 1, theta 2, etc. theta m, and this is called a likelihood function. This is called a likelihood function. The maximum likelihood estimate or theta 1 hat, theta 2 hat, etc. theta m hat are actually those theta value which maximizes the likelihood function, and this maximum likelihood is greater than or equal to all likelihood value. I hope you are remembering that. Here we have seen which mean value is the maximum likelihood. We will draw all shifting over the mean values here, and the maximum value will be this peak value, and this you can manually also verify. All points are actually appearing around this mean value, and all these are actually likelihood mean values, but which is actually the maximum likelihood mean value, that is what our explanation tells. Okay. And when those values are substituted here, you will get maximum likelihood estimate. And we are finding joint probability mass function. Then with the help of sample values, we are predicting the population parameters. And the interpretation of this maximum likelihood estimation is very important. The likelihood function tells us how likely the observed sample is a function of the possible values. This is one interpretation. And maximizing the likelihood gives the parameter values for which the observed sample is most likely to have been generated, that is the parameter values that agree most closely with the observed data. That is actually minimizing the error, and it will it will fit the function more closely to the real values. Okay, the prediction, the accuracy will be more, and this is maximum likelihood estimation. And if the data set is more, it is suitable for like this data set is more. The given we have gathered a data set, and it will explain you this data set is more suitable for what kind of model or distribution. This sentence will give you an idea regarding this is actually minimizing the error, finding the maximum likelihood value population parameters, and maximum likelihood estimation of the other distribution, that is Poisson distribution. Suppose we have data generated from for a Poisson distribution, we want to estimate the parameter of the distribution using MLE, maximum likelihood estimation, and you can see that the function is, the probability density function is e raised to minus mu raised to x divided by x factorial. Then if we have n observation, then it will be the joint probability mass function is the product of the individual mass function. Then that will be x1, x2, etc. xn. Then it will be e raised to minus mu into mu raised to x1 divided by x1 factorial into mu raised to x2 divided by x2 factorial into etc. into e raised to minus mu raised to xn divided by xn factorial. This is very important. For the previous examination, regular examination, they have asked the maximum likelihood estimation of Poisson distribution. This is how we are going to find out. You have to remember the probability mass function of Poisson distribution. This is actually the probability mass function. Then finding the individual probability is the product. So this is the product, and how we will write? This is the likelihood function. L of mu comma x is actually the product of I equal to 1 to it, e raised to minus mu, then mu raised to xi. The denominator is a constant. I hope you know that. X1 factorial into x2 factorial into xn factorial. That we need not consider. And this is actually, if we take e raised to minus mu, we multiply n times, it will be e raised to minus n mu. Then product of mu raised to xi is mu raised to n x bar. This is actually mu raised to n x bar. Then take the natural logarithm, and the natural logarithm we take ln here, ln of mu comma x minus nm. This is actually summation. Therefore minus nm plus nx bar into ln of mu. Then take the derivative. dl by d mu is equal to minus n plus nx bar into derivative of ln of mu means 1 minus mu. Then equate it to 0. Then that means minus n plus nx bar by mu equal to 0. That means x bar is equal to mu. We are going to get x bar is equal to mu actually, and this is the maximum likelihood estimation of Poisson distribution. Then for exponential distribution, you know the probability density function, it will be lambda into e raised to minus lambda xi. Then substitute for each, take the individual probabilities. Okay, then it will be lambda e raised to minus lambda x1 into etc. into lambda e raised to minus lambda xi. It will be lambda n into e raised to minus lambda sigma xi. Then taking the natural logarithm, we are going to get n into ln of lambda minus lambda into sigma xi. Okay, minus lambda into sigma xi. And finding the derivative equating to 0, we are going to get n by lambda minus sigma xi equal to 0. That means lambda is equal to n divided by sigma xi. That means 1 divided by x bar. That is lambda hat, maximum likelihood estimate of Poisson, sorry, this is exponential distribution. Lambda hat is equal to 1 by x bar. This is how we are going to find the maximum likelihood estimation. Then for normal distribution also similarly, the function is 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma square into e raised to minus xi mu the whole square divided by 2 sigma square. Then take the product of each individual term. You are going to get 1 by 2 pi sigma square, and it is root actually n times. Therefore n by 2 into e raised to minus sigma xi minus mu the whole square divided by 2 sigma square. Take the natural logarithm. You are going to get a minus n by 2 into ln of 2 pi sigma square minus 1 by 2 sigma square into sigma of xi minus mu square. To find the maximum value of mu and sigma square, we take the partial derivative. Here two unknowns, sigma and mu. Therefore, we take the partial derivative of mu and sigma square, equate them to 0 and solve the resulting equation. With respect to mu, it is actually with respect to mu, there is no mu term here, therefore 0 minus 1 by 2 sigma square into 2 into sigma of xi minus mu into minus 1, that is 1 by sigma square into sigma of xi minus mu equal to 0. Sigma of xi minus mu equal to 0, then take sigma inside, that will be n mu equal to sigma xi. That is actually I hope you can remember, that is mu equal to sigma xi by n, and mu hat, maximum likelihood estimate mu hat is equal to x bar. With respect to sigma square, we will get the partial derivative as minus n by 2 into 1 by 2 pi sigma square into 4 pi sigma, then that is actually minus 2 by 2 sigma cube into sigma xi minus mu square. Finally, we will cancelling all terms, we will get minus n by sigma plus 1 by sigma cube into sigma xi minus mu the whole square, it is xi minus mu the whole square equal to 0. Then sigma xi minus mu the whole square equal to sigma square n, that is sigma square n is equal to sigma xi minus mu the whole square divided by n. That means sigma xi minus x bar the whole square by n. This is actually the maximum likelihood estimation of normal distribution. Okay, with this I hope the maximum likelihood estimation is almost clear to you, and we will just once again revise some concept in maximum likelihood. This was a method introduced by R.A. Fisher, I told you, and most statisticians recommend this method at least when the sample size is large, since the resulting estimators have certain desirable efficiency parameters. Parameter estimation of probability density function, that is actually the objective of maximum likelihood estimation. There are two important parameters which uniquely identifies a probability density function. One is mean vector and another one is covariance matrix. Since these are the parameters very important which help you to identify the nature and structure of the probability density function involved. And if we identify that, when we can design a classifier, we want to find out the decision surface between two different classes. The nature of the probability density function is very important for identifying the marker, the decision surface between two different classes in classification. And PDF is defined by mean and variance, I repeat. Other than Gaussian distribution or normal distribution, we want to find out the parameter vector that identifies the probability density function. Then maximum likelihood estimation is the best one. And the concept of likelihood is closely related to conditional probability, but it is not identical. Assume that y is a random variable, then we can compute its probability of y, given its probability density function, that is probability of y given theta, where theta is a parameter vector characterizing the probability density function. Okay, please study maximum likelihood estimation, and out of that maybe you will get Poisson distribution or exponential distribution or binomial distribution for the examination. Okay, if any doubts you can ask in the next class. Thank you.